All right, the first story at the top of antiwar.com today. Suspect in Trump plot recruited for Ukraine's Foreign Legion. So I'm recording this on Sunday night, and there's still details coming out, but it does look like someone else tried to, or would have tried to, assassinate Donald Trump. So this suspect who was arrested, his name is Ryan Routh. He's 58 years old. Apparently, the Secret Service saw him sticking a gun, an AK-47, through a chain link fence while Trump was playing golf on his course in West Palm Beach, Florida. He was in the hole, either the next hole or two holes ahead of Trump, standing there pointing his rifle through the chain link fence, and Secret Service fired on him. Not clear if he got off any shots, if he, fired back at all, but he fled, and then they ended up getting his license plate from a witness, and they found him and they arrested him. So he's alive, this guy, and he has some interesting background, to say the least. So this article is from Max Blumenthal at the Gray Zone. Before he was caught with an AK-47 on a golf course near Trump, Ryan Routh went to Kiev to fight for Ukraine's military and recruit for its international legion. Routh told U.S. media that he had partners meeting with the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. So Ryan Routh was arrested with an AK-47 style rifle several hundred yards from Donald Trump while the former president was golfing. And this is being investigated as a potential assassination attempt, according to the reports Sunday night. So back in 2022, Routh reportedly traveled to Ukraine to recruit for the International Legion. According to Newsweek Romania, which interviewed Routh in 2022, the American resident of Hawaii hoped to fight as a volunteer alongside the Ukrainian army, but was too old at 56. He said, quote, "So plan B was to come to Kiev and promote the idea of many others coming to join the International Legion. We need thousands of people here to fight alongside Ukrainians. There are about 190 countries on our planet, and if the governments are not officially sending soldiers here, then we civilians should pick up this torch and make it happen," end quote. And there's a video here, and in the beginning, they say, "Why are you here?" He says, this conflict is so black and white, it's good versus evil," just kind of like a very childlike understanding of the war, saying it's like a storybook or like a movie. So that's kind of his attitude. And then his Twitter timeline is filled with scores of tweets volunteering his direct assistance to the war in Ukraine, cheerleading the war against Russia, and attacking opponents of military aid to Kiev, such as Tulsi Gabbard. So here's just one tweet. This is from March 15th, 2022, and he wrote, quote, "I am willing to fly to Krakow and go to the border of Ukraine to volunteer and fight and die. Will I be able to cross the border to fight without a visa? Every citizen around the globe should be running to Ukraine to fight. Can I be the example? We must win," end quote. And they suspended his Twitter account. I wanted to, for the show, just scroll through some of his tweets, but they got rid of it. But I was looking through it, and actually his first tweet, the first thing on his timeline, it was from 2023, and he said something like, "I have hundreds," or maybe he even said thousands, of Afghan soldiers who could be deployed to Haiti as part of an international police force. And apparently Semaphore interviewed him, I believe this was in 2023. Yes, and yeah, so this story from Semaphore, Ukraine is turning down hundreds of Afghan soldiers who want to join its war effort. So he's saying in this interview that he's got all these Afghan soldiers who are eager to go fight in Ukraine, but Ukraine's not letting them for whatever reason. He told them, quote, "I have had partners meeting with Ukraine's Ministry of Defense every week and still have not been able to get them to agree to issue one single visa," end quote. So claiming that his people were meeting with the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, just a very strange, kind of bizarre guy. Because again, like, he's doing all this stuff publicly, kind of saying all these crazy things about recruiting people to fight in Ukraine, and also Taiwan. He's saying he wanted to try to get Taiwan to form some sort of foreign international legion. That was in his tweets as well. And he also appeared in a March 25th, 2023 New York Times article about the U.S. volunteers in Ukraine who lie, waste, and bicker. And this, I remember, I think we ran this story at antiwar.com. It was about some of the Americans who were volunteering in Ukraine. And a lot of them were just kind of, wasting everybody's time. And one of them was Malcolm Nance that they mentioned. But so Routh is mentioned in this, and he says a few things, that he was planning to move volunteers, in some cases illegally, from Pakistan and Iran to Ukraine. He said that dozens had expressed interest. He said, quote, "We can probably purchase some passports through Pakistan since it's such a corrupt country," end quote. And apparently his background was he had a construction company. He had a criminal record. He was arrested many times, including in 2002. He was charged with possession of weapons of mass destruction. He had a weapon of mass destruction. Apparently it was a machine gun. Interesting that they used that term, I guess, in 2002. That's what everybody was talking about. So they did find the WMDs, but it was this guy that had them, not Saddam. So again, just a very strange story. So right now, I think we could, think that the motive here could be related to Ukraine. I mean, again, if you look at his social media, now it's gone, but that's what it was all about, was Ukraine. And again, he mentioned Taiwan and things, but all this stuff, very, very passionate about Ukraine. It's just kind of a bizarre thing. And I think that the kind of Ukraine aspect of it, they might try to kind of brush it aside in kind of the mainstream coverage of what's happening here. But we'll see how it plays out. Again, he's alive. Judging by the way he carried himself, I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to make some statements about why he did what he did or what he was doing there. We'll see. He might, try to get off or something, plead, say that he wasn't trying to kill Trump. We'll see, how this all plays out.